At what depth qualifies for the deepest cave dives today?
Hello everyone, thank you once again for joining us on our monthly in-depth crossover with our GUE YouTube channel. As always, my name is Nico Lurot and I am joined to my side by the rock star, the diving technical legend, Michael Menduno. How are you doing?
Hey there, Nico. How you doing today? I'm doing really good.
Really good, mate. Great to see you as always.
Yeah. We've been in saturation for 2 weeks working on this issue. Hence, I haven't even had time to shave. We're just busting away to get it out next Thursday. So this Thursday.
Yeah, you've always got. I've seen some teasers for this one. It looks like quite the issue.
Oh man, it is. And I have a question for you to kick it off.
Please.
At what depth qualifies for the deepest cave dives today?
I'm gonna say can't be that deep. I mean, it's got a question of safety. Let's say 150 meters.
That would be a good answer for the 1990s, but no cigar. It's deeper than that.
I see. We've upped the ante, have we? I know. Wait, sorry, that was stupid. I'm being stupid here. I've recently seen a video on this. So I saw those mule videos recently where they were down.
The wet mules.
Yeah. So they were down at 243 meters. That has to be it.
Well, it's an amazing dive, but amazingly more. That does not even make the list of the deepest cave dives today.
Behave.
It's true. We're going to talk about it.
All right, fine. I guess, guys, if you want to know what qualifies as the deepest cave dive, stay tuned until the end of the video.
Yeah.
Right, Michael. As always, GUE community, we want to hear about wreck diving, we want to hear about cave diving, we want to hear about geeky stuff, and you always bring the goodies. What have you got for me?
So this issue, we are going to celebrate one of the world's greatest cave divers, arguably, and a man who, it would be fair to say, tech diving and cave diving would not be what it is today without his contribution. And that would be Sheck Exley. Sheck was, of course, on your top 10 diving pioneers video a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
Ironically, he was born on April 1st when the issue is coming out, and he died in 1949 and died April 6th in 1994 trying to bottom out a sinkhole called Zacatun in Mexico. Incredible. I mean, this was a guy who back in the 80s were doing dives, 200-meter plus dives. I think at that point he had gotten up to 240 meters plus. Well, most of the dive industry didn't even know the words nitrox or trimix. I mean, he was off doing his thing. There was a saying at GUE, at WKPP at the time, that if Sheck had a team and standard gases, there wouldn't be a cave left in Florida to explore. So So we are doing
from the I don't know as much about him as you do, but from what I've studied for that top 10 video, link above if you want to see it. Yeah, I completely co-sign that statement. He was incredible. What an explorer.
So we are kicking off with a story called The Deepest Dive, a study in controlled paranoia by Ned Deloche. It was written in 1988, first appeared in Ocean Rail magazine, and it's the story of Sheck's dive at Nacimiento del Rio Monte, cave in Mexico. And at the time, Sheck was doing a 238-meter dive, 780 feet for you imperialists, and a story about that. And with that, we have an interview I did with Sheck Exley, a piece that he wrote for Aquacore called on Beyond Machismo. We have the accident analysis of the report from Dr. Bill Hamilton, Jim Bowden, and Ed Kristovich on how he died. And then we have a piece called Dr. Ann and the Zacatun Explorers, talking about his adventures with Jim Bowden and Zacatun. So we have a whole package around it. It's and some video, a tribute video by a man named Jim Thomas. So it's quite something. I think everyone will want to read it.
Yeah, whether you're a tech diver or not, guys, if you don't know, get to know about Sheck Exley. He is one of the pioneers of diving, which is why I featured him in that top 10. What an explorer.
staying on our history theme, we have a great piece by our friend Andrea Murdoch-Alpini, Italian explorer. And it's a piece, he does an interview with a man named Stefano Carletti. He's an Italian who wrote the book on the Andrea Doria, minus 74, indicating the depth in meters. He was part of Bruno Valletti's first expedition on the Andrea Doria, a little more than 10 years after it sank. It was the first crew on the Doria. They made a film, they made the book. And this is an interview with Stefano, who's now 82, kind of recalling his remembrances and those first dives on the Doria. So I think wreck divers are really going to appreciate this. It's got some good history. So then we have another wreck diving story. We call it Brits Brew Beer Booty. Cheers, Wallachia. And this is a story of GUE Scotland, group of divers diving a wreck called the Wallachia. It's in about 34 meters off the English coast. And in it, they've discovered beer bottles with residue. So being avid beer drinkers, they took these bottles to a chemist, had it analyzed, and then took the formulas that they discovered to a custom brewery and had brew made from this. Originally, these bottles were in 1895, so they now have a 120-year-old brew that they drank over the holidays.
As a Brit, that story resonates with me.
Yes, it will. You'll have to pour a brew and drink it and read the story. Yeah,
love
exactly.
That. Have you got a nice geeky piece for me?
We do. The title is "In Hot Water: Do Active Heating Systems Increase Your Risk of DCS?" There's really interesting research around this. The way they discovered this, actually, there was a flight called TWA 800 that went down, and they had divers doing a recovery. It was in the North Sea, I believe, and they were diving hot water suits. These are basically wetsuits that you run the hot water through and flush out. And they noticed at the end of several hundred dives that the bends incident was slightly higher than you would normally expect on commercial diving like this, of this type. And upon further investigation, they realized that your thermal status of divers affect your risk of DCS. There was a big study done by the Navy Experimental Diving Unit. So this discusses, there's some conflicting data around it. It's not totally clear, but this kind of flushes out, Riley Fogarty, our great science writer, flushes out sort of the nuance and comes up with some conclusions for divers with active or non-active heating systems. So it's pretty interesting.
Stay tuned to the DCS world at the moment, guys, because I know that Dan, and I also know that good friend of the channel, Frauke Tillmans, is doing a lot of research on or, new research, bringing in new light to what causes and doesn't cause DCS. I know that there's a huge study at the moment going on around post-diving workouts, for instance. So anyone interested in the science of diving, keep your ears to the ground. There's a lot of interesting research being done at the moment.
Yeah, I feel like we're really, some of our understanding of decompression is really sharpening now. There's a lot of, as you say, new research that is leading to new insights. So it's an exciting time. As far as decompression diving. Yeah.
Now, I was about to say I'll see you next time. However, you need to answer my question.
And I'm going to answer.
I need to find out the answer to your question.
Your question. So, and I'm going to give it away when I say the title of our next piece. This is a piece that we've paired up with the Sheck Exley story, and it's called Diving Beyond 250 Meters, the deepest cave dives today versus those in the 1990s. So,
I wasn't that far off.
No, you were close. Interestingly, the wet mules, I saw that video too. In fact, we have it linked in the story. But the incredible dive to 243 meters, Craig Challam and Richard Harris, and that didn't even make the list of the top 13 deepest dives. So there you go. The motivation for this story was, if you remember last year, we did a piece like this on shipwreck diving, looking at shipwreck diving today versus in the 90s. Yeah. So we wanted to take it over to caves. I teamed up with Nuno Gomes, who's got the world's deepest cave dive Actually, where is it here? He dived to the air. So he did this at Bushman's-Gat. He dove to 283 meters, or about 927 feet. But that's an altitude of about a mile high. So when you do sea level equivalent, it was a dive to 339 meters, or 1,112 feet. So quite deep. So we, in this piece, really go through the history. I have a chart from 1993 from Aquacore that Sheck Exley sent us on the deepest dives at the time, the top 13 deepest, and then the cutoff was 150 meters. That was deep. Jim Bowden then, in 1998, kind of recited what was going on. He had the deepest dive at the time at Zakatoon. He was diving next to Sheck, or near Sheck, in the same sinkhole, though they couldn't see each other, on the dive that Sheck died. And Jim got hurt, but managed to dive to, I think it was like 925 feet, and set a record. And then we have Martin Farr, the author of The Darkness Beckons. He did a chart in 2000 of the deepest dives. And then we look at Nuno's chart today. And the various people on it, and the thing. Sheck Exley is still on that top 13 list, and so is Jim Bowden, so is Nuno. But we have some new divers. Polish explorer Chris Starnowski.
Good luck saying that name.
Tripping over the name. And French explorer Xavier Minicus. So there are two new people on the list, kind of contending for the deepest cave dive. So it's a quite interesting story, and I think people will like it. Yeah.
And these are legitimate deep records, not GABA records. Yes.
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 And I should say, these are not world records, Guinness World Records, right? These are just people doing cave dives. And in fact, we're going to be announcing some news. A woman, Karen Van Den Over, just yesterday, on the 26th of March, set a new world's record to 236 meters at Bushman's-Gat, which is the equivalent of 283 meters sea equivalent. So she now has the women's diving record. So, it's a really interesting historical piece. I think every cave diver is going to have to read this. Yeah.
So a love letter to Sheck Exley, deepest cave dives with Nuno Gomez, wreck diving in Scotland for booty beer. Heaters that get
the Doria.
I love it.
Yep. It's a good issue. One of our best, I think. Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to reading it. Michael, just before I let you go, when is the issue out? Where can people find it?
So you can find it at indepth.blog. or GUE.com/blog. And we'll be launching on April 1st, on Thursday. The issue will be out. So check your mailboxes. And if you haven't subscribed, go over there now. It's free. Put in your email address, and then you'll get our emails notifying you of new stories.
Awesome. And guys, as always from me, please hit that notification bell, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you want to reach out to Michael, he's all over social media. He'll be happy to hear from you with great feedback if you like
Absolutely.
The video. Reach out to us, guys. We're social. We love hearing from you all. So please stay tuned to the channel as always. We've got more content coming for you in the pipeline. Be on the lookout for the new issue of InDepth. And be on the lookout for my upcoming photo video series on GUE TV. Keep an eye peeled for that. And until next time, guys, it's goodbye from me, and it's goodbye from Michael. Thank you very much.
See y'all.